Welcome my dear listeners, stay with me to get the spoilers first. And subscribe to the channel. Let's find out what's going to happen on The Bold and the Beautiful. Nick's coma crisis and Sharon's heartbreak in the hospital. Young and the Restless spoilers say that Nick Newman will have to go to the hospital after falling into one of Matt Clark's traps again. Risa Thompson tells Matt a lie about Nick and Adam Newman going back to Genoa City. They will then go after Matt at the rundown petrol station on the outskirts of Vegas. Nick's drug use will get him in trouble though because he stole those baggies from the storage closet. Matt made sure that one of the bags had a bad batch in it that will soon put Nick in a fight for his life. Nick and Adam will come to save Sharon Newman and Noah Newman, but Nick will fall to the floor and start writhing in pain. Y&R spoilers say that Matt will be happy to see the action up close and personal on his cell phone, which will be a big deal for him. Adam will probably unchain Sharon and Noah so they can help him take care of Nick. Adam, Noah, and Sharon might try to get Nick to a hospital as soon as possible because this situation could get worse very quickly. Matt could try to stop that plan, but he could also let things happen and hope to kill Nick later if he lives. If Nick is rushed to the hospital because of the bad drugs in his system, he could end up in a coma. Nick's doctors might not be able to say for sure if he'll make it or not. You can easily picture Sharon crying by Nick's hospital bed and begging him to come back to her. Noah will also be worried about Nick, especially since he feels like he brought Matt back into Nick and Sharon's lives. Adam will also blame himself because he will push Nick to do drugs before they go on their rescue mission. Adam will try to get Nick ready for battle, but it will fail because of the bad batch and Nick's scary experience. Will Adam tell Chelsea Lawson that his brother is in the hospital when they meet again and she asks him where Nick is? Spoilers for The Young and the Restless say that Nick will live, but in the meantime his loved ones will hear some bad news and have some scary moments. Y&R weekly spoilers for April 27th to May 1st. Nick Newman is about to hit the ground, Victor won't stop swinging, and Phyllis finds out what a scorched earth looks like. Nick Newman will hit rock bottom, Victor will go crazy on Phyllis, and Billy will surprise Sally Spectre with something she isn't ready for. Nick hits the ground, Victor keeps swinging, and Phyllis sees what scorched earth really looks like. Genoa City is about to have a very stressful week, and the stress is coming from two very different places. Nick Newman is already running on fumes in Vegas, fighting Matt Clark's trap, and Adam can clearly see that Nick is losing. Victor Newman is using fake emails, paid witnesses, and the threat of Christine becoming district attorney to put Phyllis Summers in a corner that doesn't look legal at all. When you put it all together, it's the kind of Young and the Restless stretch that leaves everyone hurt, trapped, and one bad choice away from disaster. Nick's part of the story has been going this way for days. Adam can tell that Nick is getting more and more upset as they drive to the petrol station. Nick is driving badly and is either high, crashing, or stuck somewhere in between. The recap is very clear. Adam can see the signs and he already wishes he hadn't taken Matt on with Nick in that state. That's the issue with Nick's current downward spiral. He is trying to get by, but the stress keeps showing through, and every mile he gets closer to the rescue makes things worse. Matt is tightening the trap on Sharon and Noah at the same time. Matt has them chained up in the empty garage and keeps making fun of them, saying that one of them will die first while the other watches. Earlier in the same day's coverage, he makes it clear that he doesn't plan to let them get away with it. He is very angry that his plan is falling apart, and he keeps telling Noah that the whole thing is about punishment, entitlement, and resentment for Newman. This isn't just a hostage scene. Matt is turning cruelty into theater. Things get even worse by Monday, April 27th. The next summary says that Nick passes out while trying to save his family. The rescue only happens after Adam kicks in the garage door and finds Sharon and Noah tied up inside. Nick is still shivering and staring at the wall when Adam gets there. Then all of a sudden he falls down. That's the time to hit the dirt. It doesn't mean anything. It is real. Nick's body gives out at the exact moment when the mission is at its most important point. The collapse is important because it turns the rescue from tense to disastrous. Finally, Adam is inside, Sharon and Noah are visible, and Matt is still watching everything through a video feed from another place. So even when Nick gets close enough to help, he can't fully take over the moment. The enemy is still one step ahead, still watching and still controlling the temperature from a distance. Nick's fall is even worse because it happens in front of the man who wanted him to break. This is where Victor's story takes a turn for the worse. Victor and Victoria are not chasing Matt back at the ranch. They are now shooting at Phyllis. The April 24th recap says that Victor and Victoria use fake emails, paid witnesses, and Christine's upcoming arrival as district attorney to get Phyllis to give the Newmans back the Summers conglomerate. In other words, Victor isn't just swinging emotionally. He is strategically swinging with paperwork, leverage, and legal threats. When Victor thinks someone has crossed him, he likes to run a scorched earth campaign like the one he is running now. Victoria brings in former department heads who are willing to say that they heard Phyllis say she stole the company, and Victor makes it clear that he would like to see her in jail. That's what makes it so dangerous. This isn't a warning shot. It is a full-scale attack. The fake evidence may not be very strong, but the goal is cruel. It sounds like scorched earth warfare because Victor is willing to destroy reputations, careers, and relationships to get the company back. Phyllis can see through at least some of it. She tells Victor that the proof is fake and calls them hypocrites for accusing her of stealing when they drugged a man. That line is important because it shows that she isn't afraid to speak up. She knows that Victor is making a moral mess, and she isn't pretending that this is a fair power play. She says out loud that the game is rigged. But just because you know it's fake doesn't mean you're safe. Michael tells Phyllis to be careful because Christine will probably offer Billy and Kane a deal to betray her, and they will probably take it. That is the real deal. Victor isn't just threatening her with a fight in court. He is putting a lot of pressure on her from all sides. Fake evidence, possible testimony, and a threat of prosecution that could become very real when Christine becomes DA. Phyllis may be right, but Victor has the power of consequence on his side. Phyllis isn't losing to just one clean move, which makes the story even more brutal. She's being boxed in on all sides. Victor and Victoria tell her that they are making her an offer that she can't refuse. It's her last chance to get out of the trouble she's in. She fights back, but the choice she has to make is not good. Give up the company or go to court with people who are already stacking the deck. The recap makes it clear that Victor thinks they will get the company back no matter what she decides. That's why the Nick and Phyllis stories are so similar this week. Nick is losing control of his body while Matt uses drugs, traps, and fear to make him weaker. Victor is using fake records and witnesses to make Phyllis look like the problem while he takes away her control in a planned way. One problem is that the body is giving up. The other is about taking power by force. Both are about what happens when the other side decides enough is enough. It makes it even more dramatic when it happens. Nick is falling apart while trying to save Sharon and Noah, and at the same time Victor is telling Phyllis that he wouldn't mind seeing her in jail. One man is literally falling apart on the way to being saved. The other person is standing tall and pushing someone else closer to a cell. The soap opera engine here is the contrast between pain and control, collapse and domination all happening at the same time. The bad news is that none of this seems done yet. The April 27th recap is already hinting at the fallout from Nick's collapse, and the April 24th material shows Matt still chaining up Sharon and Noah and Victor still pushing Phyllis to give up. That means the week isn't just about one rescue and one threat to a business. It's about whether any of the people who are stuck in these traps can still think clearly enough to fight back before the walls close all the way. Phyllis is learning the hard way that scorched earth isn't just about making threats. It is about making someone choose between bad options until every way out looks dangerous. Victor's fake emails, paid witnesses, and legal threats are all meant to do just that. He wants Phyllis to be scared enough to give him the company, but if she doesn't, he's already set things up to make her life a lot worse. The lesson hidden in this story is that Victor doesn't always have to yell. He can build a wall around the truth instead. Nick's lesson is even harder. He has to keep going even though his own health is making him feel weak. Adam can tell he is on the edge, and the recap makes it clear that Adam wishes he hadn't brought him into the rescue in that state. But Matt has already shown that he will take advantage of every weakness, and Sharon and Noah are counting on Nick to get there at all. That's why the collapse hits so hard. Not just one person is falling. This is the point at which the mission is almost a failure. The message is very clear by the end of this stretch. Nick is going to fall because he has pushed too hard while carrying too much. Victor won't stop swinging because he thinks that's how you win a war. And Phyllis is about to learn that when Victor goes all out, the fire spreads beyond her business. It affects her reputation, her freedom, and every relationship she thought would keep her safe from the fallout. Genoa City has seen power struggles before. This one is meant to set fire. Matt lets Noah and Sharon die, and Victor goes after Phyllis with a hammer. Genoa City is in one of those young and the restless times when it seems like every plotline is coming to a head at the same time. Matt Clark has Sharon and Noah trapped, chained and cut off from help in Vegas. The latest spoilers make it clear that he is no longer just trying to scare them. He is saying things about death, revenge, and making one of them watch the other die. Victor Newman is putting a different kind of pressure on Phyllis Summers to give up Summers' conglomerate. He is using fake AI evidence, paid witnesses, and the fact that Christine will soon be the district attorney. It is a week full of control, cruelty, and decisions that no one can make without getting hurt. The nightmare in Vegas has been getting worse for days, and the April 24th recap makes it very clear. Matt has Sharon and Noah trapped in an empty petrol station, and he is not pretending that there is a way out for them. He tells them that one of them will have to watch the other die first, and while he mocks them, he keeps them chained up without food or water. Noah tries to talk sense into him by saying that his affair with Sienna was wrong and that he should let Sharon go, but Matt won't listen. He says that no one else is leaving but him. The show knows how to stage that kind of evil best. Cold, planned, and personal. Matt isn't making things up, which makes the scene even worse. He knows exactly how to keep Sharon and Noah off balance, and the recaps show that he is already ahead of everyone else. He tells them that Adam and Nick will be there soon, and then he uses that promise to torture them even more. Matt doesn't back down even when Reza calls him and tells him that Nick and Adam are on their way. He decides to deal with Adam and Nick later, so Sharon and Noah are still the main focus right now. That is to say, he is not lying. He is giving himself time and leaving them to worry about what will happen next. The phrase, Matt leaves Noah and Sharon to die, hits so hard this week because of that. For the threat to feel real, the spoilers don't need him to actually walk out and slam the door behind him. He has already taken away their hope, chained them up, cut off their food and water, and made them watch each other suffer. The damage is already done even if he is interrupted. This is Matt at his worst. Not only is he threatening to kill, but the terror itself is part of the punishment. Adam and Nick's attempt to save Nick makes things even more urgent, but Nick's condition is what makes the whole mission so dangerous. The April 24th recap says that Adam wishes he hadn't rushed to the petrol station after finding out Nick was on drugs. This is important because it means the rescue is happening in very bad conditions. Nick is not only chasing Matt. He is also fighting his own physical instability at the same time. Earlier coverage showed Adam talking to Nick about his drug use and telling him he needed to be able to back him up. They can't fight Matt unless Nick is at least able to help. That leads to the breakdown of both the mind and body that follows. The situation gets even worse by Monday, April 27th. According to the recap, Nick passes out while trying to save his family, and Adam finally kicks in the garage door to get to Sharon and Noah. When Adam finds Nick, he is still shivering and staring at the wall. Then he suddenly falls down. That moment is terrible because it shows the rescue coming just in time to show how bad things have gotten. Nick has pushed himself to the limit, and the story makes it clear that his body is no longer working with him. The collapse isn't a metaphor. It's what happens when a man runs out of petrol in the middle of a deadly crisis. The emotional impact of that fall is that Nick is trying to save Sharon and Noah while also fighting Matt's bigger plan, which has already included stolen phones, fake texts, and a long chain of manipulation. Earlier spoilers showed Matt using Nick's phone to trick Sharon into the trap, and another recap said he has been using that confusion to keep the rescue effort off balance. That means Nick's problems aren't just because he uses drugs or is weak physically. It's also about Matt making sure that the wrong messages get to the right people at the wrong time. This is the part of the story that makes Matt's revenge the most powerful. He isn't just trying to scare people. He wants to control the truth. He is making the whole thing a mental trap by keeping Sharon and Noah chained up, making them listen to his insults and acting like he still has room to move against Nick and Adam. Even though help is on the way, his victims know for sure that he has already gone too far and left them to die. That's how a rescue story turns into a nightmare that no one can forget in soap terms. Matt is in Vegas doing that, but Victor is fighting his own battle back home, and it's just as brutal in a different way. The April 24th recap says that Victor and Victoria go into Phyllis's office with former department heads who are willing to say that they heard her say she stole the company. They send fake emails, pay people to testify, and threaten to give the information to the district attorney if she doesn't give Summers' conglomerate back to them. That is not a normal way to negotiate. It is a takeover that is covered in legal threats. Victor's strategy is classic Newman power politics. He doesn't just want to scare Phyllis. He wants to trap her from all sides. Victoria tells her that they are giving her an offer she can't refuse because it's her last chance to get out of the trouble she's in. It's easy to understand the message. Give up the company or let Christine have the proof. Because Christine is about to become district attorney, the stakes are even higher. If Victor decides to push the case, Phyllis could face serious consequences. That's the hammer Victor is using on her this week. What makes Phyllis such a strong counterpoint to the Vegas story is that she sees through at least part of the scam. The summary says that she says the evidence is fake and calls out the hypocrisy of people who drugged a man and then accused her of stealing. That line shows that she isn't just giving in to pressure. She knows what Victor is doing, but that doesn't make it any easier to get away from it. She knows that the legal threat is real enough to matter, but she also knows that Victor is not on the moral high ground. Michael's job makes things even worse for Phyllis. The summary says that he tells her that Christine will probably offer Billy and Kane a deal to betray her, and that they will probably take it. That means Phyllis is up against more than just Victor and Victoria. She is also up against a legal system that could turn friends into witnesses. Victor's hammer isn't just one blow. It's a network of pressure points, and Phyllis is at the center of all of them. The story is getting her ready to see what scorched earth really looks like when Victor decides to set fire to the land around her. The fact that Matt and Victor are similar is what makes this spoiler week so powerful. Matt is leaving Sharon and Noah in a stripped-down, brutal hostage situation, and Victor is giving Phyllis a choice that will cost her either the company or her freedom. One man is using chains and hunger. The other person is using fake emails, witnesses, and the law. Both are trying to make the person in front of them feel like there is no way out. That's a very Y&R kind of symmetry. They both want to be in charge, but they do it in different ways. The question for Sharon and Noah now is whether the rescue will be on time. The April 27th recap shows Adam finally getting into the garage and finding them, but it also shows Nick passing out while trying to save them. So, even if Matt's direct hold gets weaker, the damage he has already done is bad. Nick is down and the couple is still in danger. The emotional aftershock is far from over. This is the kind of soap opera crisis that doesn't end when the bad guy stops talking. It goes with the survivors into whatever happens next. The question for Phyllis is whether she can stay strong enough to keep what she built from Victor. The answer might depend on whether she thinks the fake evidence will really stick, how Christine comes into the picture, and whether Billy or Kane will really flip under pressure. But the bigger emotional truth is already clear. Victor has decided to use all of his strength, and Phyllis is about to find out that his idea of compromise is just a nicer way of saying give up. That is what makes his hammer down move so deadly. This week's story isn't just about how horrible Matt is or how cruel Victor is. It's about how far each man is willing to go once he thinks the other side is getting in the way. Matt leaves Sharon and Noah in a deadly situation and teases them by saying that one of them might have to watch the other die. Victor pressures Phyllis by using fake evidence and threats of legal action until she has to choose between the company and the consequences. Nick falls down in the middle of everything, showing how close this whole week is to falling apart completely. Genoa City is in more than one crisis. It is dealing with a complete breakdown of trust, safety, and control.